Hey guys! This video is going to be yet another Ask Rome segment, but this time it is travel related questions. As my channel is growing towards a travel related type of channel, I figured that I'd do something a little bit more thematic and ask you guys to ask me questions related to travel. So on both Instagram and Snapchat, I posted this, pretty much asking you guys to ask me questions on those social platforms. So this is another segment of Ask Rome Travel Edition. I'm going to start out with Instagram, and the first question comes from Dakota or Dan. Which is your favorite airline to travel? Domestically, I've been traveling a lot with Alaska Airlines, and partly because Seattle is pretty much an Alaska airline hub, and there are a whole bunch of flights leaving SeaTac International Airport towards many different destinations. So within the past 3 months, I've traveled to San Francisco, Arizona, Phoenix, Anchorage, etc., Denver, all through Alaska Airlines. It's been a really good experience flying with them, partly because a lot of their Boeing 737 aircrafts have in-seat plugs to charge your devices, so that's huge. I know that I've been in aircrafts where they didn't have that, and you know, your phone or your laptop is pretty much what keeps you occupied during a flight, and it is a really good idea and advantageous for us as the passengers to have that amenity available on board. So I would say Alaska Airlines for domestic. International flights, I find that I've been flying a lot with EVA Airlines as a gateway towards Asia. They are part of the Star Alliance major group that I am a part of. Pretty much if I fly with certain airlines, I gather points towards my home frequent flyer membership, which is Asiana, and EVA Airlines is a partner, so is Singapore Airlines, United Airlines, etc. So I have been flying a lot with EVA Airlines, and I'm pretty happy with that airline. The next question comes from Rich the musician, and he asks, will you ever do meet and greets? If yes, which cities, countries will you do them at? I get a lot of questions about meet and greets and a possibility of me doing them whenever I travel, but the problem for me is that I don't know. It's one thing to say like, yeah, I'll go, but I would be really sad if, you know, I arranged a meet and greet and then maybe nobody came. But if I know where you guys are coming from, then maybe I'm more likely to do that. So in the comment box below, please tell me where you're from, where you're watching from. In any event, I would probably remember that, oh, I'm going to London in a few weeks. There are a lot of people who live in London. Maybe I'll try to set something up really casually, maybe at a coffee shop or something. But I'm pretty much open to doing it anywhere, but that's if time permits. The next question comes from JSRM, Jason and Joy. Hello. They both ask, hey Jerome, did you have any horror stories while traveling that you would like to share? And the one that sticks out in my mind was when I was in Ninoy Aquino International Airport Terminal 3. This is about back in 2011 or 2012 when I was going through the terminal. I just had really bad experiences with, one, the airlines there, and two, the people who work at the actual airport. When I was checking into my flight with Cebu Pacific Airlines, they had me stand in a weighing scale to weigh how much I weighed along with my bags that I was carrying on, which was really odd. And then as I was walking through with my carry-on, one of the personnel airline staff people pulled me aside and asked to weigh my bags. It was 1 kilogram over the allotted, so they had me go back to the line, get my bags weighed, had to go to another line to pay for it. It just was such a hassle, and by that point I was just really pissed. At this point I haven't went past the airline terminal fee stand yet, and so when I went there I was still kind of a little bit flustered, and I gave my boarding pass to the lady, gave my $20 terminal fee, and just went on my way. Get to the gate, and then I'm one of those people who like to wait till the very end to board the plane, so you know, you're not just kind of standing there while being cattled in the aircraft. And so I was one of the last people going on the aircraft, and then when I went to give my boarding pass, the guy that was working there said I didn't pay my terminal fee, but I did. The lady didn't stamp it, and I'm pretty sure that lady from the terminal fee desk pocketed the money so that I would have to come back. And such a convenience for me, the guy that was accepting terminal fee money was right over there waiting for me. I'm like, this doesn't sound like it was planned, but it felt like it was planned. I remember going onto the aircraft really pissed, and I ended up kind of having a little crying session to myself. Goes to show I did not have a great experience in Ninoy Aquino Airport Terminal 3 and Cebu Pacific Airlines. And that's my horror story. Another question from Rich the Musician. He asks, what's your favorite country you've been to so far and why? And there are so many different places that I've explored that each of them have some sort of special attribute to those places, but the first thing that comes to mind, especially since I'm going to Europe in about 2 weeks, is London. Before I talk about why I love London, I'm going to London, Amsterdam, and Reykjavik, Iceland in 2 weeks with my best friends Crystal, Ruth, and Elsie. We are going to be traveling those 3 countries within 2 weeks, and I'm super excited. So if you know of those areas, please let me know down below where to go, what to see, etc. It would be really appreciated and helpful for me when planning my time there. But anyways, London. I love London because it feels like New York. There's a lot of things to do there. It's very cultured, but I had such a great time last year when I went during my We in Europe travel vlogs, and I'll leave a link up here so you guys can go check out the first day. But I loved it so much that I'm going back this time around, and I'm so excited. The next question that I have is from HDTB. Love your vlogs, ohitsROME. My question is, how do you motivate yourself to vlog each trip? Getting the vlogging camera is already so challenging for me, I always forget. Girl, I always forget too, but it's really helpful when you have the shoulder strap and you always have it along with you. But I think as you get into a routine of travel vlogging, it just comes at second nature to me, at least. And whenever I see something that is pretty cool or something that is significant, I'm like, I need to capture this moment, and that's where the vlogging camera happens. And I know that sometimes when traveling and appreciating the moment for what it is, that could also be a drawback to vlogging, that you don't fully appreciate it. But for me, I just really enjoyed vlogging and having that memory for me to watch in the future to look back on. The next question is from Ryan Edwards 2002. Hello Ryan. He asks, how about the airplane food? Love your vlogs. Thank you so much, Ryan. My favorite airline food actually comes from Singapore Airlines. When I went to Singapore for Asian Invasion 2014, the airline food at Singapore Airlines was surprisingly really good. I remember having like chicken and rice, and it was just like a 2 or 3 hour flight. And you know, if you ever fly domestically here within the US for 2 or 3 hours, you don't get nothing. So getting food, for one, was just such a good surprise, and the food being really good was a bigger bonus. So not only did we get, you know, food, we got a lot of it. I remember having like an entree dish, a bread, salad, fruit, dessert, and then like a juice thing, for it being a 2 to 3 hour flight. So Singapore Airlines. I would also note that Emirates Airlines is amazing. I've only flown Emirates once, and I flew business class when I went to Dubai back in 2014, and the food was amazing. Not to mention they have, you know, real cutlery, flatware, silverware, and the bread coming from the bread basket was warm. They served banana pancakes for breakfast, 32,000 feet in the air. I remember getting basmati rice with this vegetable topping. You get food on demand as well, so it was such a pretty good experience there. Although I haven't flown with any other carrier internationally on business class, but Emirates was a pretty good experience. The next question comes from Ulala Lisa. What travel apps are you using to monitor cheap flights and best dates to travel? You go on so many trips, I'm so envious. And Danny, and I miss your vlog intro you had before. Regarding the vlog intros, I found that it was such a good kind of recap of the entire vlog and the sound of like the tape recording backwards. Sometimes I forget to change the clips from that vlog from the other vlog, and it just started becoming messy, so I just decided to take it out. But anyways, to your question, the website that I monitor all the really good deals, if you follow me on Facebook, I tend to post really good deals coming from Seattle, so all my Seattle friends find it to be very advantageous. But I use airfarewatchdog.com as a fare alert reference point. Daily they show cheap fares coming from different locations at a origin destination, and the requirements for this is, I think, each mile has to be like 2 or 3 cents per mile, so that's the requirement, and then they just post all these deals. And then when I buy it, I buy on Expedia.com because I like to earn my Expedia Plus points when purchasing. So whenever you purchase anything from an airline, I like doing it with Expedia because you get to double dip on points. Not only do you get to earn loyalty points with Expedia, but you also get to earn frequent flyer points with the carrier that you are flying with. So if I bought a EVA Airlines flight from Seattle to Taipei, I get Expedia Plus points, $5 per 1 point, as well as EVA airline points to go towards my frequent flyer status. So it's a win-win situation in that point. Look at Airfare Watchdog as a reference point, search for it on Expedia, and it pretty much is double dipping and double value for sure. I only got 2 questions coming from Snapchat, and they are both from one person. So Jarrett 5175 asks, the question is, what was the scariest travel experience you've had, and how do you budget money so that you're able to travel things Rome? So for the first question, my scariest travel experience so far probably has to be maybe when I was in the Philippines back in 2009. So I spent one summer in Hong Kong doing an internship, and after the internship I decided to visit the Philippines for like a week to visit my family who lives in Manila. And this was during the time when a hurricane was happening, like category 5, is that even a thing? But I remember it being pretty big. It might have been Hurricane Yolanda. I remember going there, and the last day was when the day after the hurricane hit, so there was still flooding going on, but I knew that I had to get to the airport really early. And Philippine and Manila traffic being the way it is, I knew that it's gonna be insane on top of the regular traffic levels Manila has. We left probably 8 hours before my flight scheduled to leave, and I just remembered covering my laptop in plastic bags because there was flooding going on everywhere. And I remember driving through basically like the poorer areas within Manila, like where all of the squatters live, is what they describe the people who live near the river. But the river levels went really high, and it was crazy because I've heard many people drowned during that hurricane. And I remember seeing a body literally on the dirt road covered with cloth, but you can see the feet still. And I looked at it and I was just like, you hear about all the disasters and all of that comes with hurricanes or typhoons, but you don't expect to observe that on the way to the airport. So it was a very crazy experience. It took us about 3 or 4 hours to get to the airport, and then my flight was delayed another 5 hours because of the aftermath of the hurricane. That's probably a scary experience. Another scary experience was when I went to Bali back in 2013 with my friend Roger. We couldn't find our passports. We accidentally left them back at the hotel, which was 45 minutes from the airport, in the safe. And the hotel that we stayed at graciously brought it back to us at the second leg of our destination. As for the second question, there are many things that I do to save money for travel. One is, it comes at no surprise that I travel a lot more than the normal population of people, and that's because I work for the travel industry. And the benefit of that is I do get discounts on hotels and airfare, but I do like to use sites like I mentioned before, like Airfare Watchdog, to monitor certain routes and have them alert me when the route is a cheaper value. I also tend to stay with Airbnbs, especially next month when I go to Europe. I'm staying in Airbnb the entire time because it's a better value, in my opinion, for the money that you're spending. And since I'm going with 3 other people, we just rented out Airbnbs that had 2 bedrooms to 1 to 2 bathrooms. Maybe they'll have a kitchen, maybe they'll have a washer and dryer so that we need to wash our clothes. So, and I find that splitting that 4 ways is a lot better value for your money than just staying at a hotel room, and you get more space. Also for me, not many of you know, but I still live with family, and doing that lets me be able to save a lot of money to go towards travel as well. So that's how I do it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, the question and answer portion of Ask Rome Travel Edition. Don't forget to thumbs up this video if you enjoyed. Watch out for those videos. Sneak peek, the travel vlog series for Europe is going to be called Eat, Slay, Love. because it's a travel related theme, because we'll be eating, we'll be loving, and we'll be slaying our way throughout Europe. So definitely watch out for those. Subscribe to my channel if you're wanting frequent updates as well as these travel vlogs. Don't forget to let me know down below where you're from, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!